to report out from closed session.
Okay, well, hopefully she could do that.
Yeah, and he's fine. It's just a sick child, but just so you know.
Okay, very good. I appreciate the heads up. We're going to roll into this today because we do have some time constraints this morning with the presentations for Jay. So we're going to try to address those up front. I believe Senator has to be on at 10:10.
Chair, you are live.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Welcome to the Del Norte County Board of Supervisors. It's Thursday, April 27th, 2021, and it's 10 o'clock, time for our regular board meeting. And let's go ahead and take roll, please. Kylie?
Chair, can you hear me?
I can.
Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties on the CAO side,
Okay.
so I couldn't hear what you just said.
So if you could take roll, please, that would be appreciated.
Supervisor Hemmingson,
I am here.
Supervisor Starkey,
Here.
Supervisor Short,
Here.
Supervisor Berkowitz,
Here.
Chair Howard.
Here. All right. Is County Council on with us?
My understanding he's back, so he should be logging on.
There we go. Good morning, Joel. Could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
It's just in mobile.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all.
All right. Neil, is there any introductions of new employees for the board today?
Chair, there is none that he's aware of.
Okay. Do we have Neil? Kylie?
He is working it out. It should be less than a minute or two.
Okay, very good. Anything to report out of closed session, Joel?
No, not today.
Okay, so at this time, I'd like to request any deletions, corrections, or additions from board members to the agenda. Do we have anything at this time? Okay, I'm going to hold board reports this morning until later in the agenda. If we could move forward with taking up the consent agenda up at this time, I'd appreciate it. So do we have a motion?
I will make that motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Kylie, let's open it up for public comment on the consent agenda items only.
Just one moment. Chair, I know Gordon Clay wanted to speak on behalf of the proclamation. Do you want to do that now?
Yeah, we've got about 7 minutes is my understanding. Is that correct, Kylie?
Correct.
Okay, so let's go ahead with that, please.
Gordon, you're good to go.
Good morning, Gordon. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. My video isn't on, but I am here. For the record, my name is Gordon Clay from Brookings, Oregon. May 9th is the National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day, and the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Kids are naturally curious and have questions about mental illness. It can be challenging for adults as well as children. Myths, confusions, and misinformation about mental issues cause anxiety, create stereotypes, and promote stigma. During the past 50 years, great advances have been made in the areas of diagnoses and treatment. Parents can help children understand that these are real issues that can be treated. In order to talk to a child about mental illness, You must be knowledgeable and reasonably comfortable with the subject. You should have a basic understanding and answers to such questions as, what are mental illnesses? Who can get them? What causes them? How are diagnoses made? And what treatments are available? Some parents may need to do a little homework to be better informed, because children often can't understand difficult situations on their own. You should pay particularly attention to if they experience loss of a loved one, divorce or separation of their parents, any major transition like a new home or new school, traumatic life experiences like living through a natural disaster, teasing or bullying, and difficulties in school or with classmates. Parents should be aware of their children's needs, concerns, knowledge, and experience with mental illness. When talking about mental illness, parents should communicate in a straightforward manner, communicate at a level that is appropriate for the child's age and development level. Have the discussion when the child feels safe and comfortable. Watch their child's reaction during discussion. Slow down or back up if the child becomes confused or looks upset. And listen openly and let your child tell you about his or her feelings and worries. Considering these points will help any child be more relaxed and understand more of the conversation. Do you need help starting a conversation with your child about mental health? Try leading with these questions. Make sure you actively listen to your child's response. Can you tell me more about what is happening and how you are feeling? Have you had feelings like this in the past? Sometimes you need to talk to an adult about your feelings. I am here to listen. How can I help you feel better? Do you feel like you want to talk to someone else about your feelings? I'm worried about your safety. Can you tell me if you have thoughts about harming yourself or others? Seek immediate assistance if you think your child is in danger of harming themselves or others. Teach them the crisis text line and suggest they text SOS to 741-741 when they want someone else to talk with. Brochures that inform what to look for in crisis wallet cards are available at 40 partners in Crescent City. You can find a list on the web at zeroattempts.org/delnorte.html.
Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you.
Kylie, is there other public comment on the consent agenda?
Chair, I'm not seeing any hands raised at this time, and I don't have any written.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move it back to the board for a vote. Kylie, can you poll the vote, please?
Supervisor Berkowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Hemmingson?
Yes, I need to recuse myself on item number 19. Mr. Frying is an owner of a business that does business with business of mine that I have ownership in.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Short?
Yes.
Supervisor Starkey?
Yes.
Chair Howard?
Yes, thank you very much. There was a proclamation in recognition of National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day, and I believe Supervisor Starkey was going to read that into record today.
Yes, and I appreciate Mr. Clay's comments. It is very good to understand what to look for in our children. So Mental Health Awareness Month, May 2021. Whereas mental health is part of one's overall health and well-being, and whereas 1 in 5 adults experience a mental health issue at some point in their life, and 1 in 17 adults with mental health illness live with major depression, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia. Whereas approximately 50% of chronic mental health illness begins by the age of 14 and 75% by the age of 24. And whereas 15 million children have a mental, emotional, or behavioral health concern. Whereas there are often lengthy delays between the time symptoms first appear and when an individual seeks treatment. Whereas early diagnosis and treatment can make a difference in the successful management of mental illness and recovery. Whereas it is important to maintain good mental health and learn the symptoms to identify mental illness. Whereas every citizen and community can make a difference by helping to end the silence and stigma that surrounds mental illness, encouraging those individuals who may be suffering from mental health issues to seek help. Whereas public education and civic activities can promote good mental health and help improve the lives of individuals and families affected by mental illness. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Del Norte County Board of Supervisors does hereby proclaim May 9th as National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day and May 2021 as Mental Health Awareness Month. Be it further resolved that the Del Norte County Board of Supervisors encourages all citizens to learn the warning signs and use that information, which can be found at 40 locations in Crescent City, to ask a troubled friend, colleague, or family member, "Are you okay?" Then listen, encourage action, and keep checking in. This conversation could change a life. Passed and adopted on the 27th day of April, 2021.
Thank you, Supervisor Starkey. Well read. And Gordon, thank you for your comments today. You've been extremely persistent with the board, ensuring that the community of Del Norte County is extremely aware of mental health issues. And we really appreciate your persistence over the years to keep us all aware.
And I appreciate yours in supporting this important work. Thank you so much.
You bet. You bet. All right. Now I'd like to move on to item number 3 in that consent
Mr.
agenda.
Chairman,
Yes.
if I may, there's a resolution honoring Mr. Serena.
Yeah.
You gonna wait on that?
Supervisor Hemmingson, I'd like to roll it out a little bit with us maybe being the coup de grace on this recognition for CAO Serena. So we'll close with you and open up with our dear friend Senator McGuire, who I see just joined us. I know he's got some time limitations today, but we are here today to honor the incredible work and service of Jay Serena, our previous CAO. And I know we have a lot of guests with us today that also want to participate in honoring Jay's work for Del Norte County. So Senator McGuire, I see your name's Barbara today, so this is a good change for you. Welcome to our meeting.
Surprise! So thank you so much, Mr. Chair, to the Board of Supervisors. And it is an honor to be able to be with you here today. I'm really grateful, and thank you so much for making time, Mr. Chair. Very grateful, and really good to see you and to each of the members of the Board of Supervisors. Good morning to you. Honored to be able to join with Assemblymember Jim Wood and Aaron Dunn, who is with us today. Good morning, Ms. Dunn, who would like to also say a few words on behalf of the Assemblymember. It is bittersweet, to be really candid with you, to be able to present this golden resolution, the highest honor of the California legislature, to Mr. Serena. I know I'm going to be preaching to the choir here today, but Mr. Serena has dedicated his career to the county that he loves, and that's Del Norte. He has come up through the ranks. He has been successful every step of the way, whether it's in the Park and Recreation Department, planning, community development, and of course, as assistant county administrator, and of course, as the county executive. What I have always loved about Mr. Serena is that he is a straight shooter. You always know where he stands and what is on his mind. He has been the county's steady hand as county administrator. He's cool under pressure. He's able to build bridges with differing voices, which I have always been so impressed with. And he excels in our toughest times, even in the county's darkest days, whether it was the tsunami, an earthquake, wildfires, or recessions. Jay has been there every step of the way for us, delivering for those who are in need. And we want to take a moment this morning on behalf of the entire state and the California State Legislature to be able to recognize Mr. Serena, recognize his invaluable contributions to his hometown and to the county of Del Norte. That's why on this 27th day of April, Assemblymember Wood and I are honored to be able to present the golden resolution to Jay Serena, the highest honor of the California legislature, and to declare this day J. Serena Day in Northern California. So
Wow.
it is an honor to be with you, and congratulations, Jay, on your retirement. I know you're not going to be going far, and if it's all right, Mr. Chair, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Dunn to be able to present on behalf of Assemblymember Jim Wood.
Please.
Yeah, thank you, Senator McGuire, Board of Supervisors. It's an honor to be here today. And on behalf of Assemblymember Wood, I want to join in on the congratulations of an exemplary life of service to your community. You are a part of the fabric of Del Norte County. Reading your history with the county is an amazing testament to your service and dedication. And Assemblymember Wood came to depend on your steady leadership, and he wishes you the best in whatever your next adventure, wherever that takes you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Really appreciate it. And then I also know we have also want to recognize you, Jay. Thanks for joining us today. Supervisor Hemmingson is going to read a resolution in the record for you at this time.
Okay, let me turn the stuff on here. Yes, thank you. Privilege and an honor to read this resolution by the Board of Supervisors for Jay. You know, even though Jay and I didn't always agree, you know, within that, I think we built a great relationship as well as a good friendship. So again, I'm really happy to read this resolution of the Board of Supervisors, County of Del Norte, honoring J. Serena. Whereas J. Serena, County Administrative Officer, retired on March 31st, 2021, after more than 31 years of service to County of Del Norte. Whereas Jay began his career with Del Norte County in March 1982 as a part-time temporary employee in the Recreation Department, and continued in his capacity until August of 1990, where his commitment to providing recreation programs in our community began. Whereas beginning in February 1990, Jay started as a permanent part-time employee as he joined the ranks of the Community Development Department as a Planning Tech 1, and was subsequently promoted to Planner 1. Jay was then hired as a permanent full-time employee in December of 1991. Jay remained in community development, promoting his way to project planner in December of 2000. In August of 2004, Jay was promoted and transferred to the Administration Services Manager position in administration, and then promoted as Assistant County Administrative Officer in October 2006, and ultimately appointed as County Administrative Officer in March 2010, which also includes the titles and responsibilities of Human Resource Director, Office of Emergency Services Director, Budget Officer, Employee Relations Officer, Purchasing Agent, and Recreation Director. Jay obtained his 30-year longevity with the County of Del Norte in February of 2020. The additional and most important titles held by Jay are husband and father. Whereas Jay has risen through the ranks of the county to the top administrative position and should be a shining example to all that hard work, knowledge, intuitiveness, ingenuity, trustworthiness, skill, and the ability to work with others can help you achieve anything. And whereas Jay should always be recognized for his ability to face difficult situations and issues and develop solutions that are beneficial to all parties involved. Jay has served numerous supervisors during his tenure at administration, and whereas Jay experienced challenges on a daily basis, yet managed to be present and managed to present a balanced budget for 11 years as CAO. Whereas Jay responded at all hours of the day and night to local emergencies, including tsunamis, fires, floods, and landslides, spending many sleepless hours at Emergency Operations Center and away from his family. And whereas Jay managed numerous recreation programs that served over 800 local youth and teens annually and employed many of them as referees, scorekeepers, gym supervisors, and summer camp counselors. And whereas Jay mentored and provided guidance to countless county employees at every level during his 31-year career. And whereas Jay has been instrumental in many important projects within Del Norte County during his tenure, Jay played an important role in finalizing the Flynn Center Administrative Center renovation, finalizing the construction of Juvenile Hall, seeking and securing funding for the reconstruction of the harbor after the destruction caused by the 2011 tsunami, establishing a homeless shower program with the help of local nonprofits for those in need of our community. And whereas Jay Serena's commitment to public service, Del Norte County employees, his friends, and his family is unrivaled. And whereas Jay now hopes to spend some quality time with his family and friends and enjoy a successful hunt or two and possibly break 90, not likely at his age, at the local golf course. And now therefore be it resolved that the Del Norte County Board of Supervisors hereby recognizes, honors, and expresses our gratitude to Jay Serena for his many years of public service and dedication to the people of Del Norte County, and wishes him a long and fulfilling retirement, passed and adopted in this 27th day of April 2021. Unanimously, Jay, congratulations. Thank you for your service. Glad to be able to call you a friend as well as a colleague. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate this. If you all wanted to make me uncomfortable, you've succeeded. I know the senator has a tight schedule, so my thank you. I appreciate all the times that you called me, whether it's in the middle of the night or weekends, whenever it needed to be, because we needed information or you needed information. It was a joy to work with you. And the same with Assemblymember Woods. Please pass on to him if I don't believe he's on here, but I appreciate all the work that he's done. I would also, I need to thank the staff and administration. They do an excellent job on a daily basis. That is not something that most people see. They work hard, they're very dedicated, and they had my back through everything that's ever happened, and I appreciate that. And Kylie, stop crying. You hired an excellent CAO. I highly recommended him, and I've worked with Neil now for 10 years, and I've known him about 45 years. So I really appreciate the fact that somebody like him will be guiding the county. Would also like to thank the board and the boards that came before you for having any kind of trust in me to do what I've done over the last several years, right or wrong. And to all of the county employees, again, they're unseen most of the time, and they do an excellent job with generally a lot of criticism from one side or the other, but they do an excellent job and very much appreciate it. And last and most and foremost is I want to thank my wife and daughter for putting up with me over the last several years. It hasn't been easy at times, and they've supported me in everything I've done. So I thank you all.
Thank you, Jay. Really appreciate you coming today. I know this won't be the last time you see us. Is there any closing remarks from the board before we move on? Okay, Jay, you'll see us later today. Really appreciate your time joining us. Senator, always great to see you. Assemblyman Wood, Aaron, give him our regards. Wish he could be here with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Thank
Love
you.
Jay.
All right, we're gonna move forward at this time with item 29, which is approve and adopt an ordinance establishing regulations for pretreatment of industrial wastewater and approve and adopt the joint powers agreement between the county's services area and the city of Crescent City as requested by Community Services Area and Community Development Department and County Council. Who's going to take the lead on this?
I'll take it. This was introduced a couple of board meetings ago. If there's any other questions, what's new here is the MOU that will allow the city to actually do the enforcing.
Yep.
So, any questions I can answer.
Okay, terrific. Thanks, Joel. Any questions from the board before we open it up public comment?
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve and adopt the ordinance establishing regulations for pretreatment of industrial waste, and 2, to approve and adopt the joint powers agreement between the county services area and the city of Crescent City.
Thank you, Supervisor.
I'll second.
Thank you, Supervisor Short. Kylie, can you open it up for public comment, please?
Chair, I'm not seeing any public comment at this time.
Okay, thanks, Kylie. We'll go ahead and return it to the board then. And please pull the vote.
Supervisor Berkowitz,
Yes.
Supervisor Starkey,
Yes.
Supervisor Short,
Yes.
Supervisor Hemmingson,
Yes.
Chair Howard.
Yes. All right, it is 10:25, which means it's time for public comment. Members of the public may address the board on matters which are within the jurisdiction of the board. If you are addressing the board regarding a matter listed on the agenda, you may be asked to hold your comments until the board takes up that matter. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Kylie, is there public comment today?
Chair, I don't have any written, and I'm not seeing any hands raised online.
All righty, then we're going to go ahead and move on with our agenda at this time and move on to item number 30, which is approve and adopt budget transfer item number 04-04 in the amount of $547,729 within the capital improvement budget unit to allow the expenditure of funds for emergency energy improvements as requested by the administrative services manager. Item budget transfer 04-08 in the amount of $7,716 within the public health budget unit to utilize the additional funds that were awarded to public health to assist with the COVID-19 vaccine clinics, and budget transfer item 04-09 in the amount of $5,000 within the public nuisance budget unit for additional professional services as requested by the Director of Community Development. Do I have a motion on the table?
Mr. Chair, I move we adopt budget transfers 04-04, 04-08, and 04-09.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Second.
We have a motion second. Kylie, can you please open it up for public comment?
Chair, I'm not seeing any public comment at this time.
Okay, very good. Then we'll return to the board for a poll vote. Kylie?
Supervisor Starkey,
Yes.
Supervisor Berkowitz,
Yes.
Supervisor Hemmingson,
Yes.
Supervisor Short,
Yes.
Chair Howard.
Yes. All right, let's go ahead and move on with item number 33, approve and authorize the chair to sign and send a letter of support for the California Association of Veteran Services Officers advocacy efforts to increase local funding to veteran services as requested by the Veteran Services Officer. Do we have Aaron with us this morning, or am I a little too quick?
Chair, I'm not seeing Aaron on at the moment.
He was at jury duty yesterday. It's possible he's still there. I just saw him at the courthouse. So
Okay, this is just a letter of support, and I know he may or may not want to say something about it, and we could circle back in case he does. But if the board is ready to move forward with a motion on this item, I'd be willing to entertain it at this time.
Move to approve. Motion second.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Berkowitz, for the second. Okay, public comment on this item, Kylie.
Chair, I'm not seeing any public comment at this time.
Very good. Then please pull the vote.
Supervisor Hemmingson,
Yes.
Supervisor Starkey,
yes.
Supervisor Berkowitz,
Yes.
Supervisor Short,
Yes.
Chair Howard.
Yes. All right. Moving right along, I know we have a 10:30 timed item, which is a report from Dr. Raywald. it appears that we have 1 minute to pause, and I don't want to open it up to board reports just yet, because I know most of us are fairly long-winded with those reports. A lot of activities going on this week. But I will say that was very kind of the senator and the assemblyman to join us today. Jerry, thanks for reading that very lengthy proclamation for Jay and resolution. Well deserved. And it's not often time that we get to honor so many valued employees in our county, but it's always feels so good when not only is that employee valued by us in the county and the staff around them, but also recognized by our state officials as a valued asset. And I know Jay has been a good friend to many of us over the years, but he obviously will be sorely missed. And Neil, as Jay's put a lot of faith in you, and so has the board, we wish you the best of luck in taking over those big shoes. So with that, we're going to go ahead with our 10:30 timed item, which is our COVID-19 update from Dr. Raywald. Doctor, are you with us this morning? Kylie, are we having technical difficulties, or is he just not with us?
I'm not seeing him on. I'm not sure if he's the call-in number, but it's not unmuting. I sent him an email at the time. I'm not sure if he's just delayed or if he's in the middle of something.
Well, this, yes, Darren.
Mr. Chair, being we have a minute or two here, I would just like to say something about something that was tucked into the consent agenda. I just wanted to publicly thank Robert Butler, David Jones, Deborah Redwine, Gerhard Weber, and Paul Winning for volunteering to be on our Measure R Oversight Committee. Just wanted to make sure that those folks got noticed and that we do very much appreciate their service to the community.
Thank you for bringing that forward, Supervisor Short.
And Mr. Chairman, as long as we have a few minutes, I would like to welcome Bob back for missing a few meetings. Nice to have him back, complete the board. Appreciate you, Bob. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate being here with you.
Excellent. Well, if we're not going to get joined right now, we might as well just jump right into some board reports instead of letting this time go idle. Supervisor Starkey, would you be prepared to go into your board discussion at this time?
I will, Chair. Thank you.
Yep.
I will try and talk fast just in case he does pop on here. I attended several 4th of July planning sessions. We are full speed ahead with planning this cherished holiday event. We're going to be selecting our Grand Marshal later this week, and we have had so far a lot of amazing nominations. I attended an Area 1 agency meeting. We received a presentation from the California Senior Legislature, and they continue to do good work advocating for our senior citizens. They are looking for an Area 1 representative as a senior assembly person. I unfortunately am too young to apply. It needs to be 55 and above. After this meeting, I did reach out to our local senior center to see if we could start engaging in a lot more conversations to make sure that we're providing services and outreach to our senior citizen community, residents in our community. Just to have some board presence on that. I'm still waiting to hear some response from them. I attended a city council meeting, and during that meeting, they did discuss that they would be interested in having a 2x2 meeting with the county with regard to an increased police presence at the Legacy. Also on that meeting, Chief Griffin noted that his department is working well with the staff at Legacy and resolving some of their concerns and issues. So I am waiting to hear from the city to set up that 2x2 meeting, as I believe I am on that committee. I volunteered for the vaccination clinic at the fairgrounds. I continue to be amazed by the group of volunteers that are out there working. The CERT team, the DART team, the Red Cross, the public health, all these people are out there just spending their time making sure that we're getting shots in arms. I want to do a special thank you to county employee Christina Oseguera. She was there. I needed a translator and she jumped in to help, and I do appreciate that. I attended a solid waste management meeting. Every meeting I attend with solid waste, I learned something new that I didn't know that I need to know. So that didn't disappoint this week either. In the meeting, we did approve some rate increases, and while that is never welcomed, it's never something that we want to have to do. I believe that Recology, Hambro, and the authority laid out really valid reasons why that needed to occur. I attended the CSAC Legislative Conference. Several sub-meetings of that, the Housing, Land, and Transportation, Health and Human Services, and Administration of Justice. I was happy to see that on our consent item today that we had, we're asked to have some bylaws for our Juvenile Justice Coordinating Council, which will be a vital component in discussing SB 832, which is the DJJ realignment here locally and how we're going to handle that. I attended the Last Chance Grade stakeholders meeting, and as many of you have heard, the stakeholders have narrowed down the focus of the environmental study to 2 routes, that is Route F and Route X. And while there is going to be controversy, no matter what route we chose, there's going to be pushback no matter what route we chose. Those 2 routes made the most sense with regard to their overall performance. I attended the Chamber of Commerce meeting. The Chamber is currently paying very close attention to several bills that they believe could be, they're labeled job killers. It's a little dramatic, but there are about 4 bills out there that they're paying close attention to. So I want you to know that your chamber is really working for you as a business owner. It was announced in that meeting that the national Christmas tree will come from the 6 Rivers National Forest, and that procession of that tree will begin in Del Norte County, move its way down to California, and then head to Washington, D.C. So that's something that's pretty exciting for our community, at least to me. I was approached by constituents about the possibility of creating neighborhood watch groups. Some residents in District 2 are concerned. There's been some recent BB gun vandalism as well as an injury, and they're wanting to establish some watch groups. So I'm going to help facilitate the induction of those groups. I attended a LAFCO meeting. Yesterday, I got the privilege of attending an adoption of a former CASA child of mine. And this is going to be my quick plug to let you know that if you want to become a CASA, it's a very rewarding thing. You advocate for kids in foster care. And I also appreciate the foster families who bring kids into their home, love them, sometimes fall in love with them so much that they choose to adopt them. And that's what happened yesterday. I traveled to Sonoma County to spend time with my family. It was my niece's and my son's birthday, and we've all been fully vaccinated. So we got to hug, we got to dance, we got to spit on each other without worry. And not that we do that as a normal family, but during dancing, sometimes that happens. And it was exciting, and so happy that I got to do that. And my final thing is, last week was Administrative Professionals Day. And I believe, as former CAO Serena said, this department administration runs because of the hardworking people that we have working here. And so a shout out to Kylie and Tony for all that you do for us to make us look somewhat good. Some of it's on our own, but you guys do such a tremendous job, and I am very grateful.
Thank you, Supervisor Starkey. I see Dr. Raywald has joined us. Dr. Raywald, thank you for being able to come in with us. We have some time for you this morning. Is there anything that you can report out for us today on anything going on with COVID-19?
Can you all hear me?
We can.
Good. I don't have a big report today, honestly. I think all the issues that we've been dealing with ongoing the last few sessions with the board are still there. We're just seeing vaccine hesitancy right now in our county. We're just not filling up our clinics like we had hoped. I know that the demand over at Rite Aid, for example, dropped off precipitously a couple of weeks ago, and they've actually had their vaccines diverted out for first doses to a different location in California because they just weren't meeting the demand. The supply was there and the demand was not. So that's our biggest issue, is just trying to get the word out to folks sitting on the fence, or maybe some people who are still kind of in the not vaccinate camp, that it still is a good idea. It's certainly much safer than, especially for older folks, it's certainly much safer than the risk of getting the virus, because we know some really bad things can happen to people. We've been fortunate; we haven't lost anyone else this month. We've lost 7 people total in our county since the beginning of the pandemic. It's actually a pretty good record for a county our size. We'd like to keep it there. And right now, vaccination is the thing that probably is going to make the biggest difference. And until we get as many people vaccinated as possible, it's just an unfinished job. Testing situation is about the same. We still have OptumServe with us. Our local testing program is actually, did a beta testing of the software and the whole process of getting reports and signing up last week, and it seemed to go well. I think we're about ready to do the public release to the public of how to access that extra testing site, and then we're going to start going live public. Right now, it's focused mostly on our tribal partners and their needs, and also doing some mandated testing within the community. So it is being used. It just hasn't made a public appearance yet. The North Coast Testing Partnership is the name of the organization. And remember, it's a joint effort between Humboldt and Del Norte counties and United Health Services. But because we've had OptumServe and we've had good access to clinical testing, I mean, the need just hasn't been there to really bring it to the front in everyone's mind. So it's a good add-on, but it's not really the primary focus of our testing right now. We really want to use OptumServe. And, we still have pretty good testing resources in the county for COVID. Our numbers, I wish we could say we had better total vaccination rates. We're below the state average. Some counties around us are doing better. Some are about in our camp. So it's kind of a regional thing, we think. We just wish we could improve those numbers, and we're trying to come up with all sorts of ideas to make that work. And I'll take any questions from the board.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Raywell. Any questions from the board at this time? Okay. Kylie, is there any public comment for Dr. Raywell?
Just going to give it a
Sorry,
few more seconds.
Supervisor Hemmingson, please. I missed you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that you don't have a magic wand, Dr. Raywalt, or anything, but June 15th, is that the date that I heard the governor is going to start opening things up, that their travel, I mean, everything's going to be kind of wide open is what I'm hearing. Is there going to be some restrictions on that, or are individual areas or counties going to have different restrictions if we don't get out of the tiers that we're in and things don't get significantly better? Are we going to be able to be allowed to open up?
Yeah, we haven't been told that, if we're still in red tier, for example, does that go away? Or do we have to stay in there? We have not been told that would be the case. The projection is that statewide the situation will be good enough by June 15th that the tier system basically just gets put on the back shelf, and that would be good. Our numbers are headed a little bit better towards the right direction. I think by June 15th, we'll probably not be in red anymore if we continue to improve, but we still see some outbreak cases here, and we're doing case contacts and turning up lots of contacts. So we know it can still happen because there's enough people who haven't been exposed in the community that it could play around with us. But the short answer is we've been told that June 15th, if everything looks good statewide, then the tier system gets put away temporarily, at least, which is good for everybody. There may be some parts of the CDPH state health mandates that still would be in fact, like, in certain situations, still wearing masks indoors, trying to use social distance, some of the common sense stuff that we've been promoting from the beginning. And that probably won't go away instantly because they don't want to see anything backslide statewide. So, but the tier system of assigning activities based on how prevalent the disease is in the community, I think that's going to be set aside, and I don't think it matters where you are on that day. I think it's true for everybody. As far as we know, that's what we've been told.
Thank you, Doctor.
I have one quick question.
Please.
Is there anything that you think that we can do to help educate the public more with getting for the vaccines? I mean, there's resistance, but is there anything that you think that you need from the board to help us get that word out more?
You know, honestly, if you're motivated to do so, going on to social media and just, like doing a YouTube spot or something on Facebook, just saying, what you think about it, or that you got vaccinated and it was fine, and you're happy because you're able to spend time with your family in a new way, or, back to the old way, pre-pandemic. I mean, that's the biggest incentive that we can think of right now, is just the extra freedom that it affords people. And feeling confident that they're not going to put anyone at risk. And I think that's the take-home message is, people have to remember that giving the virus away to someone might end up in someone ending up in the hospital and potentially dying. But if you're vaccinated and the people around you are vaccinated, and you can spend time together, you can do that without that fear anymore, for the most part. We think that it does improve, reduce transmission. So even if you catch the virus again afterwards, it's going to be a mild infection and maybe a very short run infection, and you won't be very infectious, and you may not be able to give it away to anybody. So that's the advantages of vaccination, aside from being able to take the masks off with your family once you're all vaccinated, or with people who are low risk. There's advantages to doing that. And I think if anybody on the board wanted to take that initiative, we would love that, because your public figures, your trusted voices in the community, and that counts. That makes a big difference.
Thank you. Kylie, public comment?
Chair, I'm not seeing any public comment at this time.
Okay. Well, Dr. Raywald, thanks for joining us again. And more importantly, thank you for those appeals. We'll see what we can do. Sounds like we're all motivated to help in any way possible to help spread the word about the importance of vaccination.
Well, thank you. And if you can do that, I'd be very happy.
Okay, we'll see what we can do.
We'll see you next time.
You take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's go ahead and move on with our 1040 timed item, which is a presentation from the Visitors Bureau and an update from both Lynette Braillard and Cindy Bosberg of the Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau. Cindy, I see you with us this morning. Good morning. See Lynette also. Good morning.
Hello.
Right.
So good morning, Supervisor Howard. Thank you so much to you and your county staff and the other supervisors for having us here this morning. I'd like to introduce Lynette Braillard, owner of Lulish Design, who is our agency of record for the Del Norte County Visitor Bureau. She has a wonderful PowerPoint presentation to share with all of you today. Lynette?
Yes, so I'm going to share my screen. All right, can everybody see that clearly?
We sure can.
Great. So just to preface the presentation briefly, just wanted to let everybody know that this is the last full year in review. So April 2020 through April of 2021. Just to give you a little bit of background, the Visitor Bureau hired me and we got to work in the spring of 2018. And at that point, we did an in-depth research and analysis of the area to put together the branding and the logo identity, and then the marketing content and the marketing strategy plan and content. And then we did a number of photo shoots and content development. And then we finally launched the visitdelnortecounty.com website on April 1st of 2019. And that's when all of our paid campaigns officially launched at that point. So we've had 2 full years of marketing as Visit Del Norte County. And I'm happy to share the year in review with you all right now. And one thing I do want to point out that during this pandemic year, we continued to move forward with our marketing strategy. We did not stop. And because of that, we are uniquely positioned for this tourist season. And you'll see in the presentation, our numbers are definitely showing this. So our campaign impressions, we had over 7.2 million pairs of eyeballs see some sort of paid marketing from Visit Del Norte County over the last year. And this does not include any of our earned media mentions. So what do we do to market Visit Del Norte County? We do a ton of digital marketing because we can strategically target it by location, by interest, and we can track it very well. We do some print media buys. We don't do as much because print is a lot more expensive and we can't easily track it or target it. And then we do a ton of content and search marketing. And that is search engine optimization, specifically for Google, the #1 search engine out there. We do a lot because we're trying to capture that free organic search traffic. So we don't have to pay for that exposure. We do social media marketing, both organic, again, free posting. And then we also do paid posting, which again, we target to specific locations, specific psychographics of people and interests. Public relations. We do multiple pitches per month from Visit Del Norte County to get that earned media exposure, which you just cannot buy. And email marketing. We do monthly email newsletters. Our opt-in subscribe list is just under 2,000 subscribers. And then our owned photo and video library. This is really important that we had invested in high quality photographs and video so that not only can we use it in our own paid promotions, but also that we can also give it to media. So when they run stories on us, they're using high quality photographs of our area and video. And then of course, creative and design work is wrapped into all of this. So how do we measure success? We have a set of key performance indicators, our KPIs that we follow. #1 is our lodging tax and sales tax collections. So primarily Del Norte County's lodging tax collections. And then we also look at Crescent City's lodging tax collections. And then we look at sales tax collections within Crescent City. #2, we measure our website traffic and our Google search impressions. And social media impressions and engagement. And it's really important, the engagement part. How many people are liking, commenting, sharing, or saving our posts and clicking through to our website. And then our paid campaign conversion tracking. I mentioned we do a lot of digital. Every single digital campaign, we track the ROI on those. So again, we know, what not to waste money, what is producing really well and to throw more money at so we can be real efficient. #5, lead generation and visitor center traffic. So across our website, we get probably 25 to 30 visitor guide requests a week on the website. We get relocation requests and of course, people opting in for our email newsletter. And then finally, referral traffic from visitdelnortecounty.com to our stakeholders' websites. Everybody involved in the tourism industry of Del Norte County, every single outfitter, restaurant, hotel, vacation rental is listed on the website. And then also, I'll be sharing this presentation with you all, but we have, if you follow this link at the bottom, if you just copied and pasted this link into any internet browser, you can see our in-depth quarterly marketing reports. So our last one that we have in there is for Q2. We'll be releasing our Q3 report here in the next couple months. There's a couple month lag for room tax collections to come in. But we definitely, our reports go into a lot more detail than what I'll cover today. So paid media buys, where are we promoting ourselves? We do paid media with Visit California, our state tourism agency. Google AdWords, that Google Ads network. We do both search and display ads on Google. We do paid Facebook and paid Instagram ads. And then we also do a marketing partnership with the North Coast Tourism Council that was rebranded to North of Ordinary. I'll touch on that a little bit later in the presentation. And then the 101 Things to Do guide, we run an ad in there. And then the Humboldt Del Norte Film Commission is also one of our marketing partnerships. So website visits. This is all of our paid campaigns are developed to drive traffic to our website. Our organic SEO strategy is working. We have increased over 900% in Google search impressions over the last year. And this is during a pandemic year where not a lot of people were researching travel compared to previous years. And most importantly, our click-through rate is up 2,000%. So that means people are engaged with what they're finding and clicking through to our website. Just to let you know, we've had over 3 million organic search impressions on Google in this last year, and over 51,000 people clicked through to our website to get more information. So website traffic growth and page views, just to give you an example of the first year we started versus where we're at now. So despite the pandemic, we are seeing huge growth in traffic. And I can tell you, this is not normal among many destinations right now. They have seen a decrease in traffic to their websites. So over the last year, since we kicked off marketing, we grew over 901% in page views. And during our pandemic year, which we still have quite a few more months left in our fiscal year, we are still up 70% in page views. And we expect this number to be in the triple digits by the end of this fiscal year that ends on June 30th. So Google Ads campaign, I mentioned that we do paid advertising there. What's really important here is our click-through rate from our ads. Our average click-through rate is 3.36%. The industry, the travel industry average is only 2.18%. So we're way above average. Our social media marketing. We had over 2 million impressions from our social media marketing in this last year. And again, what's really important is our click-through rates, getting them to our website. And again, we are above average. 3.24% is our click-through rate, and the travel industry average is less than 1%. This is just an example of some of our paid Facebook ads. And then this is an example of some of our email newsletters. Again, we have above average open and click-through rates. Our open rate is 27%. The travel industry average is only 18%. Our click-through rate to go to our website is 6%. The industry average is only 2%. So I mentioned earned media and ad placements. This is something that we work hard at getting. And part of this was our committee. Part of our goal has been for the last 2 years is to improve our Visit California relationship. Visit Del Norte County did not have any sort of relationship with the Visit California marketing team. We had two links on their website to begin with. And now our relationship with them is stronger than before. And we're continuing to improve that relationship on a monthly basis. To give you an example, the 2020 visitor guide for Visit California, they led the North Coast section with a photo from Jedediah Smith State Park. Over 500,000 copies were distributed of this magazine, not to mention the digital version. We also ran a quarter-page ad in this publication, and we received over 1,600 leads from our ad, which we then sent visitor guides to. Again, our Visit California pitching. These are a couple examples of stories. Visit California ran an email newsletter and an article on their website, 5 Reasons to Love Crescent City, as a result of our pitching. And also another article, 25 plus places to find great art outside in California. They actually led with Del Norte County, talking about our murals downtown, the Trail of Tall Tales at Trees of Mystery, and then the Golden Bears in Klamath. This is another great PR win for our area, was John Mayer, international renowned musician, did a partnership with Land Rover, where they came and filmed at Jedediah Smith. Again, this was gorgeous photography, videography. We shared this on social media, and to this date, it on both Facebook and Instagram, it's one of our top organic posts of all time. A lot of people were excited to see that. So, latest earned media mentions. This is a list of everything, of all the media that we received coverage on in the last year. Really exciting. American Airlines in-flight magazine, American Way. We had pitched California on Visit California on some of our beaches. One of them was Endert's Beach. Visit California then sent that out via their media list. And American Airlines in-flight magazine ended up running a little blurb on Endert's Beach in the September 2020 issue. Also, Journey, which is Washington State's AAA magazine, featured a story just this last January in the February issue, and talking about Jedediah Smith and our redwoods here in Del Norte County. We also just recently got a mention in March in the San Francisco Chronicle, 10 must-see giant redwood trees, and then SF Gate actually ran a story on one of our vacation rentals, the Hobbit Hole in Del Norte County. And again, all of these links in my presentation, again, you can just copy and paste those, and then you can actually see the article. But you can see here we have a number of Visit California features. So some of the local businesses featured in our earned media. These were all of the local businesses that were mentioned that we pitched. So Rumiano Cheese, Fog Bank Clothing, Porta Pints, Del Norte Golf Course, Soul Feet Retreat, Rock Creek Ranch, to name a few. Yurok Redwood Canoe Tours. So we have pitched over 75% of the stories that we have pitched to Visit California have been published. This is just an example of one of our print ads, so you can see what we're running. And then our marketing partnerships. I mentioned the North Coast Tourism Council. We rebranded that organization to North of Ordinary. It is a partnership between Humboldt, Mendocino County, and Del Norte County. Pretty much our $5,000 annual investment to this marketing partnership got us over $75,000 in exposure to date for this past year. Some of the things that are really exciting with Visit California, there are some only regional specific promotions that Visit California would do with our North Coast Tourism Council. It's not something that Del Norte County could have on its own. A couple of those regional specific marketing promotions were Visit California just launched a new weekly podcast. And so North of Ordinary sponsored the podcast. Also, we had a digital banner ad campaign that Visit California ran on Google. Again, those are something that Visit Del Norte County could not get on its own with Visit California. And in addition, we got to attend 4 virtual tourism trade shows this year. In fact, the virtual tourism shows have been better because we don't have to pay to send somebody to them. For example, I worked the virtual booth at the Digital Family Travel Expo a month ago. And I just had a conversation with an editor of kidtripster.com who's gonna come down and do a feature on Del Norte County. So just an example of those tourism trade shows and press events that we're able to take advantage of. And then also we're doing a whole separate paid campaign promotion with North of Ordinary. Whales, wineries, and wolf walks, bikes, birds, and BFFs. So we have a number of things going on there. And then also they paid for a photo and video assets for Del Norte County that then we own. So again, we got more photography, more video to do more of our own campaigns with. This is just an example of some of the paid digital banner ad campaigns that I talked about that we do with the cooperative. And then here's an example. We did a co-op print ad with North of Ordinary. This ad alone is over $13,000, and Visit Del Norte County could not afford to do this on our own. Over 1 million copies were distributed of the California Road Trips magazine. And to date, we have received over 817 leads from this ad that we have sent Visit Del Norte County materials to. And then our marketing partnership with the Humboldt Del Norte Film Commission. I'll let Cindy elaborate on that.
So just real briefly, we've been in partnerships with the Humboldt Del Norte County Visitor Bureau, Film Commission for a number of years. Just last weekend, they awarded 6 local businesses film-friendly awards. We'll continue to partner with them to bring movies and commercials into the region because it results in a great deal of money for us. So go ahead, Lynette.
Okay. So room tax reporting. I'm going to get into that. Obviously, one of our most important KPIs. This is the latest room tax collection reports. Just to note, this does not include the Harbor District tax collections. We pull those out. Our last quarter, which ended December 31st, the county was up 44% in room tax collections. This is in a pandemic. You can see here that the orange here indicates pandemic quarters. We were down 13%, down 70%, then only down 10%. Then we were up 44%. Definitely quite impressive. Crescent City's room tax and sales tax report. So this is again, just during the pandemic quarters. At the end of the last quarter, Crescent City's room tax collection was pretty much flat. They were only down 0.07% over the previous year. Overall, room tax collections have been down 19% for the year during the pandemic, but sales tax collections have been up 10%. We believe the discrepancy between the city and the county is that the county has more of the vacation rentals, which we do know vacation rentals have been stronger during the pandemic versus the traditional hotels and motels. So what's happening next? We still have several more months left in our current fiscal year. And then we're making plans for our upcoming fiscal year that will start on July 1st. We are hosting 2 influencer marketing partnerships with an international and national group, Women Who Explore. It's a group of active outdoorsy women with community chapters all over the United States in almost every city. We are hosting 2 paid retreats in Del Norte County for the first time with them, one in the fall and one next spring. We are also doing, I talked about content and search marketing, how that's so important, not only what we do on our end, but we are doing a partnership with Visit California that they just launched, which we have a direct access to feed them as much content that will go directly on their website, and also Google will be picking it up. So that's exciting. We're also doing some more targeted, we're doing a targeted video campaign with all of the new footage that we have between the Go for the Gold promotion and then also our footage that we got from the North Coast Tourism Council campaign. And then of course, more public relations. We're gonna work harder at doing more of those pitches to get that free media exposure that we just can't buy. And then we're doing a new visitor guide that will be more economical because of the demand, the postage costs to mail it out, and it will be a visitor only type of guide. Whereas we have been sending out the Discover Del Norte, which is a chamber/visitor guide. And then California Road Trips magazine. The North Coast Tourism Council did do another co-op ad that we will be part of once again. That will come out in July. And that concludes the presentation. So does anybody have any questions?
Any questions from the board?
I want to just say, Lynette, thank you so much. It's such a thorough report. I do sit on the Visitors Bureau, and it's been a pleasure to get to know you and work with you. I also just want to point out that she mentioned that 75% of the stories that they pitch get published in Visit California. There is a Senate bill that is going through. It looks like it's going to most likely go all the way through SB 285, which would push $45 million into Visit California. And because Lynette has created that relationship already with them, we're going to be on the map and we're going to have even more exposure. And for every dollar that they put into it, communities can expect $14 on the dollar back. So this is something that's very exciting and something that we need to, as a community, get prepared for. If you've got a business, if you've got anything going on, get everything all set up because we are going to see an influx. You can see what the great work that she's done so far. So thank you, Lynette. Thank you, Cindy, as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kylie, is there any public comment?
Chair, I'm not seeing any public comment at this time.
Great. So I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Cindy, you and your team, Lynette, I know you got a lot of folks backing you on this, and you certainly have torn down the redwood curtain that used to exist pre-2006 before contributions from the city and the county really helped form what is now the Visitors Bureau today. You're crushing it. The data shows it, and it makes municipalities like us and the city extremely comfortable with that investment, right? I mean, we're obviously investing in the future Del Norte County tourism with the dollars that we contribute to the Visitors Bureau and the Chamber of Commerce. And those investments are getting a return, and they're a significant return. So keep up the great work. I cannot say enough good things. As Supervisor Starkey pointed out, you guys are really doing an incredible job, and I cannot wait to see how the Going Gold for campaign, specifically with the Olympic rollout this year, really helps to impact that tourism piece of our community. So thank you so much for this presentation. I really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for giving us all this time.
You bet.
Thank you.
Have a great day, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. We're going to go ahead and move forward with our 10:50 timed item. We have a presentation from Aircon Energy Project Update, and I believe Alan's on with us today. There he is.
Yes,
Good
I am.
morning,
Thank
Alan.
you, Board. I'll keep this under an hour for you guys.
Okay. We know you're excited about it.
I have with me Andy Roth. He's basically the individual who we've been working with for the past, I think, 3 years now. It looks like Brett is probably on too. I believe he's a 916 number. They're here to kind of pose, if you guys have any questions that I can't answer, They're going to help me out real quick. And this is going to be real quick and real brief. As you guys know, we signed into the agreement with Aircon back in late January, early February to do an energy efficiency project. It's been well underway. They began work in mid-February. Been going pretty well. go over some of the quick ones. The jail lighting project, it's about 90% complete. They have some high bay lighting that they need to get in and deal with. They said that should be done, completely done next week. Juvenile hall, they're about 95% complete. They've got some exterior wall packs and some final just walking around, making sure everything's done to what we want it done. Flynn lighting, if you guys, anybody who's been into Flynn recently, it is very bright. So we were real dim before. I say they're about 98% done there. I think they have 2 wall pack lights on the Manual Arts building to deal with, and they'll be done at that point. And then they have the AgCom. It should have been a half-a-day project. Unfortunately, the lighting gentleman went out to do the project, and he found out he was missing some clips, so that's put on hold. But as soon as the clips show up, that'll be done in less than half a day. Then there's the big one, the Flynn Boiler. It has been completely removed. So yes, Chris, the dragon is out of the dungeon. They're currently cleaning and prepping the area for the install of the new boiler, which is much smaller, much more energy efficient. They're running a little behind with that project due to the delivery issues that are COVID related. So they actually haven't even got the boiler yet. They're estimated to start on May 19th. At this point, should the boiler actually arrive when they state it's going to arrive. And at that point, it should take about 3 weeks to get her all up and running. And at that point, we should be in really good shape. And that's it for me.
Wow. Okay. Very good. And thank you for bringing your team also. I do see Andy's on for questions, unless Andy has some other pieces that he'd like to share with us. Supervisor Hemmingson, please.
Yeah. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Gary.
Good to see you. Thanks for all the help. The rest of the system, they were supposed to, of the heating system in the Flynn Center, not just the boilers, but the diffusers or whatever that all that stuff is, valves and things like that. Is that all being looked at, checked on too, while we're waiting for the boiler?
Yes, yeah, we've been very actively looking at all the different issues, and I've identified them. And Alan we just provided him with a report yesterday with some recommendations, and so it's a little premature today because we've not really had that chance to digest that with him. But as you might have suspected, there's some opportunities to increase the comfort and replace some outdated and corroded units. We just have to figure out what you guys want to do and what makes the most sense. I think we provided somewhere in the neighborhood about 5 different options, and we had covered our bases a little bit in when we put this together in the form of putting a buffer, a contingency, if you will, on Flynn, just because we figured we were going to run into something. And we just have to, again, work with Alan and the rest of the staff and figure out what they want to do. And I'm sure that'll come back to you guys for an update.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that. It's nice to have a system that is cold in the winter and hot in the summer, but the comfort level is not the greatest. So we're trying to get that even temperature, and hopefully we can get to that point. So appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll echo that. I know we've had to live through it for quite some period of time. I'm glad we're getting a chance to tackle this now. More importantly, seek those energy efficiency savings that the report showed a big payoff in, which will obviously impact our bottom line. So really appreciate those efforts, Alan, for bringing your folks on this AirCon team to our attention and getting this project moving.
Well, I appreciate it. And I say we wanted to have the heat working before Jay left, but unfortunately, that just didn't happen.
Yeah, we understand. Kylie, let's open it up for public comment if there's public comment out there today.
Chair, I'm not seeing any public comment at this time.
Okay, we'll go ahead and bring it back. Any further discussion from the board? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Alan, and thank you, Andy, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to go ahead and move on with our 11 o'clock timed item, which is review and discuss the treasurer's report for the quarter ending March 31st, 2021. And I believe Barbara is with us today. Good morning, Barbara.
Good morning. All right, I'm going to share my screen and get my slideshow started. Oops. Okay, everyone can see that okay?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yes, welcome. My name is Barbara Lopez, Del Norte County Treasurer, and this is my quarter report, quarter ending March 31st. We have a large balance in our portfolio again this quarter, closing out at $67,521,624. Currently, I have about 50% of that in our liquid account, our LAIF account, about 35 million. We have CDs at 15% of the portfolio, $10.2 million. Our government agencies are 25% of the portfolio at $16.9 million. Mitigation fund is still the same, which it's been for months, at $2.9 million. And our CalTrust account is the same at $500,000. Okay, so some activity that I had this quarter, I decided to purchase some securities with a little bit longer call protection. LAIF is still pretty low, and I did want to increase our yield a bit. We did get a school tran fund, $2.2 million from the schools, and they're also anticipating $10+ million in federal funding, which we'll see probably in the next 2 to 6 months. And then thank you very much for the approval of amending my investment policy. I do need to increase our LAIF maximum balance since we are going to be seeing some extra funds, and I don't want to invest those long-term at this point. I just want to make sure that we know when and how we can spend those funds, and I don't want to lock anything up too long-term if we need to have that money accessible. So just to warn you a little bit, I feel like our or my maturity distribution snapshot here is going to maybe look a little wonky. Probably in the next 6 months or so, we're going to have a lot of funds, and if I can invest some, I'm going to. So you might see over the next year, the maturities are going to be quite large at the end of our, second, third, fourth quarter 2026. We're just sort of in uncharted territory right now, but I want to make sure that we're investing as much as I can, but also leaving some liquid. So this might start to look a little wonky here in the next year or so, but I'll keep everyone updated on how things progress. Earnings for the quarter were stable, $202,000. Anticipate that going up again as we invest more. Even though rates are low, but obviously the more we invest, the more funds we'll get back. And then this kind of shows you where we're at. It's actually a little bit higher even today. LAIF is pretty low, 0.357%. CDs, I usually pick up 5-year CDs. The highest one I can get right now is about a 0.8%. But the agencies, if I do a medium call protection, I could probably reach about 1%. So I'm going to try to pick up some of those as I can. And then I have a great broker who's been keeping me up to date on any medium-term banknotes. And as long as I can get those at par, I wouldn't mind picking up a few of those because we will get a quite a bit better rate on that. Let's see. So this just kind of shows you my investment activity. I picked up pretty much everything in the month of January. Rates went up a little bit 2 months ago, and they've kind of held steady, but then this month they're going up again. So I plan on picking up some more. But you'll see here this JP Morgan Chase medium-term bank note at 0.7 with a 5-year, 2-year call protection at par is a really good rate. So I grabbed that, and they're all considered AA rated or higher. So I felt comfortable investing in that. And just a couple maturities and one more call. I think I'm done with the calls. Unfortunately, we did lose some really great bonds, but that's just the nature of our market right now. So cash flow, it's a lot. As you could see sort of where we're at with year-to-date cash flow at 19 million, that just directly correlates with the balance we have in the portfolio right now. April's going to be high as well with property taxes. And then as we start getting some Fed funds in, you're going to see the cash flow really increase. But I'll just keep plugging away, try not to overinvest, underinvest, try to play it safe, but also make sure that not too much is sitting in life and that we can get a little bit of yield on some of that extra income that we have coming in. So with that, I am open for any questions. If you have any other questions regarding taxes or motel tax, we have great revenue coming in. So,
hey, Barbara, maybe you could start advising CalPERS. I hear they need some help. They're having
Right.
difficulty with their returns.
I had a robust conversation about that. I'd love to be able to take some of our unfunded liability payments, keep them in-house, earn some money on it, and then give it to them when they are being responsible with their money.
Yes, I think responsible is a key word here.
Yes.
Any questions for Barbara from the board? Okay, let's go ahead and open it up for public comment. Kylie, is there anybody in public comment today?
Sure, I'm not seeing any hands raised at this time.
Hey, well, Barbara, you're getting off easy, but
I am.
it's well deserved. You're doing great.
Oh, thank you.
Doing an incredible job with this portfolio. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone.
You take care.
Bye.
All right, so we're going to circle back to the beginning of our agenda here and take care of our last item, which is finishing our board reports. I thank Supervisor Starkey for getting us started, and we'll go ahead and move on with Supervisor Short and look for that board report at this time.
Thank you, Chair. I attended a Pelican Bay Citizens Advisory meeting during the past couple of weeks. I also attended the City Council meeting, as Supervisor Starkey did as well. Due to a family emergency, I missed the Del Norte Solid Waste meeting. That all came out very well, however. Attended a Transfer Station Operational Ad Hoc Committee meeting. I also spoke with one of the coordinators of the state COVID-19 task force at the governor's office. She was just curious about how different sections of our communities were handling the vaccine efforts, including our most vulnerable population, the elderly. And she was also curious how the homeless were getting their vaccines as well. She also wanted to know how we thought the community was handling the vaccination efforts. And I related to her, most of what I hear from our constituents is that primarily our kids need to get back in school in a normal fashion. The mental health of our children need to be taken more into consideration, and I was very pretty blunt with her about that. Also conveyed my thoughts about locking down businesses when our contact tracing doesn't point to them as spreaders of the virus. I was specific to restaurants, and that our contact tracing doesn't point to them as being a place where the virus is spread. And she assured me that the governor does not want to have any more lockdowns.
Of course.
And that he has, she said that she has witnessed him in meetings telling his staff that he doesn't want to see that happen anymore, which kind of confused me because I thought he kind of had the reins. But her comments made me hopeful that we won't see that kind of economic devastation in the future. So I'm hopeful that will not happen anymore. I also attended the CSAC legislative conference. Lots of subject area to go over there. Learned quite a bit. I attended LAFCO yesterday, and most importantly, we welcomed our 6th grandchild into the world. and celebrated our 34th wedding anniversary. So my wife has been putting up with me for a long time. And with that, that is my report.
Thank you, Supervisor. Supervisor Hemmingson.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Howard. Had a few meetings. Had a North Coast Resource Partnership meeting that you attended also. Not much substance of that other than Judy Morris receiving the Jimmy Smith Achievement Award, which is a great honor. Judy Morris, who is a supervisor from Trinity County, was a supervisor from Trinity County, elected not to run again, retired as a supervisor, and is an outgoing member of the NCRP, received that award. I think it was well-deserved. Also had a Northern Rural Technical Employment Consortium meeting, NORTEC meeting, just normal business going on there. As Supervisor Starkey reported, we did have a last chance grade stakeholders meeting. You know, we don't have, well, we're down to 2 choices now, you know, and none of the choices that we had, that we got rid of, were good. And I'm not sure that these 2 are good either. They're probably the best we're going to come up with. One is extremely expensive. The other one is going to carry the same, I think, the same kind of headaches, unless they can find some stabilization mechanisms, which they think they can. I'm hopeful that they can, you know, to stay on the same alignment. The other option, of course, are the tunnels. A very long tunnel, you know, 4,000 feet. So we're getting up close to that mile range. That's a long time to be underground. I'm a little uncomfortable myself with that. Anyway, I didn't get a chance to be involved in much of the CSAC meetings, had some conflicts there, but I did, I'm a co-chair of the Coastal Counties portion. Discussion was all about sea level rise, which is a concern. And also a new thing that I was not aware of was the vegetation removal for fire risk within the coastal zone. So they seem to be very receptive. The Coastal Commission seemed to be very receptive to that removal to protect for fire risk. So that was an interesting meeting. It's always very interesting to get those perspectives when it's all the coastal counties that deal with the Coastal Commission and sea level rise and those types of things. So it's nice to, even though there's a huge difference in population for a lot of them, you know, it's nice to be involved with them. And lastly, I went to the celebration of life for Andy Larson at the fairgrounds. Great, huge crowd, a lot of people, a lot of nice things to be said about him, and all well deserved. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Hemmingson. Supervisor Berkowitz, glad to have you back with us.
Well, thank you very much. You know, I want to thank Valerie Starkey, Supervisor Starkey, for just taking over the meetings that I could not attend due to my health issues. But things are on the mend, and I'm thinking I'm getting better. I do want to talk, basically commend Supervisor Hemmingson for his astute knowledge of what's going on with last chance grade. I was really shocked to hear that 2 alternatives, actually the one alternative, the tunnel, which is the most expensive one of the alternative, I don't think that's going to be acceptable to any of our funders. And the other one, of course, is just trying to extend the current right-of-way last chance grade. you know, that's probably going to be the one they're going to choose because it's the least expensive. So I'm really concerned about where this thing is heading. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Berkowitz. Yeah, it's been a busy week and a busy couple weeks, and you see the supervisors extremely active in their roles in communication with the state, feds on multiple topics. We've got a lot going on out there, and of course, last chance grade is top of mind, as both Supervisor Starkey and Supervisor Hemmingson mentioned. Those alternatives are they're tricky, right? One of them at a cost estimate of 1.3 to 1.7 billion dollars. Just so you're aware, the entire state transportation budget is around 5 billion. So if we're eating up the majority of that for a small corner of the state, it could get extremely politically sensitive. And just squirreling away those kind of dollars, it's going to be tricky. But of course, our senator, our assemblyman, and our congressmen, they haven't said no to this. They're up for the challenge. And in this case, parks and the values of those parks for these folks, they became worth saving for this partnership that really narrowed down these alternatives. And staying in the current alignment was just not an option. So I think as a board, I think our coursework's pretty much outlined for us. We should waste no time in advocating for this at a national level, because even with SB1 out there, those funds are not even going to come close to being able to touch that project. We're going to need our federal assistance and our federal highway partners to really start digging deep and getting funds flowing this way when that environmental work is wrapped up. Attended a North Coast Unified Air Quality Management District meeting where we started establishing our budgets for the coming fiscal year. As Supervisor Hemmingson mentioned, attended the North Coast Resource Partnership meeting. And then in addition, had some prep work for, as chair for the Agricultural, Natural Resources, Environmental Resource Committee of CSAC. In addition, had a very early morning meeting with Secretary Vilsack of USDA for the current rollout of the American Jobs Plan, as at least crafted by our president, and some thoughts around that on how it might roll out, especially to rural communities. So I'm excited if some of this could be adopted by Congress, but it's a wait and see. There's a lot of dreaming going on with Congress, and there's not a whole lot of money that I see coming down to back it, but you know, time will tell, guys. So we'll keep pushing on and keep paying attention. As every supervisor mentioned, the CSAC Ledge Conference was really good this year. I thought, you know, during challenging times such as Zoom, to communicate a lot of those issues and priorities is tough, but we did address those, obviously, with ag and natural resources, with our resiliency piece, where we really dug deep and have conversations around fire, and in particular, the Board of Forestry regulations. With AE&R, we had a lot of discussions with Liz Archuleta, who's the new Intergovernmental Affairs agent for USDA, and her staff with FSA, which is the Farm Service Agency, and how programs roll out through them. They're really looking forward to a lot of input and, more importantly, engagement. So doors open, and we're taking advantage of it right now. Also, as Supervisor Hemmingson mentioned, good job there in the coastal counties piece, and sea level rise conversations, and how those Board of Forestry regs for fire safe are going to integrate with coastal policies. I see a real conflict coming about there, and not sure how that's going to be wrestled with, because you know what, we got to really start controlling this brush. So thank you, Supervisor Hemmingson, for bringing that up. Also had a gender review, and as Supervisor Short mentioned, I was also contacted by the state COVID-19 task force person from the governor's office. Had some good conversations there, a lot of concern with equity and vaccine distribution, more importantly to vulnerable populations in our community. But I assured her that we're doing everything we can to get the word out. And as Dr. Raywald appealed today, we're going to continue spreading the word and look for any kind of resources that they could use to help promote that here in our community. Had quite a bit of discussion around what seems to be SB 12, which McGuire's now going to be an author on, as it relates to fire and fuels control. It was housed with a previous Senator and CSAC lobbied fairly hard for that to be turned around, put back in his cap. But it really seems to be a tiered approach to fuels management, more importantly, which will take in aspects of our county and what we need to pay attention to with the Board of Forestry regulations. And as many of us are aware, today, last Friday, as Director Kunstl announced at our meeting last week, we rolled out the 45-day regulatory period for the Board of Forestry to start the review of these fire safe regulations. Obviously, we've got in the queue right now this our comments as a board. This is hopefully will be paid attention to, and more importantly, crafted into the concerns that we've expressed, along with 32 other counties, on how this is not a one-size-fits-all situation. Going forward, my biggest fear is, as I'll continue to mention this, is that these regulations could really curb development in our county. And we don't have a lot of room left to develop as it is. You couple that with the sea level rise recognitions, as Supervisor Hemmingson has heard throughout these coastal counties meetings, this could really narrow the band in which developable lands are considered here in Delaware County. You couple that with state mandates for increased housing, and we got a pure mess on our hands. So obviously, we need to continue to advocate, and more importantly, continue to get our legislator representatives to listen to us, because we got a lot going on. So I appreciate all the board support and getting those messages out over the next year, because it's going to take a heavy lift from all of us to change some minds, and more importantly, change some hearts for the benefit of Delaware County. And with that, we are wrapped, folks. Kylie, I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anything. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you all. It was great to honor former CAO Serena, and we look forward to visiting with you all at the next meeting. You take care and have a great day.